Look into my eye and nothing but my eye. Hello dudes and dudeses. Today's video is all about this block, the crafter that is implemented in Snapshot. I can't remember, but we'll probably put on screen. Today we're going to be looking at it, and we're also going to be looking at all of these contraptions. The fun mechanical one, the simple but sad one, the ambitious one, the ultimate fully automatic one, and the cute one. And best of all, I'm gonna make a world download with all of these contraptions in them so that you can tinker around with them yourself. So, the crafter, this is it. What is it? It has a crafting design, very much like the crafting table. And basically, it is a crafting table. The difference is that when you craft things in here, like this, you can't take it out. The crafting table needs a redstone signal to push out what it's crafted. And if there's something in there that you haven't crafted, it won't spit it out. You will have to either take it out manually or use a hopper underneath. A crafter can interact with hoppers like that from all sides, on top, whatever, and with droppers as well that can push things into it. And if we put in stuff, you can see that it fills up from left to right on each row in here. And you might see it blinking because it made something before. You can see that's iron bars, that's a heavy weighted pressure plate. So you'll have to time your redstone signal very carefully, otherwise you will risk outputting heavy weighted pressure plates when what you want is an iron block. If you do want a heavy weighted pressure plate or anything else that's before, you can block these other spaces right here. The autocrafter can also be used in conjunction with a comparator that measures what is inside. If we go out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that is the strength inside. You can see right now it's 1 and it's 2 because there's 2 inside. If we put in 3, 4, 5, 6, you will see that you will have a signal strength of 6. And if we block them, it also counts as a signal strength. So you can see we have a signal strength of 9 now. When you, the player, puts in stuff like this, you can see that it actually can make use of stacks of items in there, like this, for instance. If you use a hopper or dropper as input, it will fill it differently. It will put 1 in each slot, and then it will start from the top and fill it out like this. But there is an exemption. If you remove one of the stacks, you can see it will fill up this, so it's even before it starts its routine by filling it like this. Okay, so that's the very basic. What can we use it for? The obvious use, of course, is that you can use this to compact outputs from farms like an iron farm. All the ingots will go through the crafter and will be crafted to blocks, and you will need much less storing space. Let's say you have an iron farm and you already sorted out the puppies, so you only have the iron ingots going into this chest right here. This is a very simple setup that will compact your output. See, it's spitting out blocks like this, and you can see it fills it like that, and it goes quite automatically when it's filled. And the way we make sure that it does it only when it's filled is that we have this crafter over here. We have blocked all the spaces, so it sends out a signal strength of 9 and pointing that into that comparator, and then you just have an automatic compressor, you can almost call it a storage compressor. Another obvious way you can use the crafter is to use it as a mold. If we put in like this, which is the crafting recipe for the crafter itself, like this, then you can see if I put in this single, I just need some more down here. If I put in a single crafting table, it will spit out an autocrafter. Now, and it will stop when it runs dry. So if I, for instance, put in these, it will automatically fill out these and spend one of each other item and put out auto crafters like that. And that's pretty neat and a very simple way, and a way that I expect that a lot of people will be using this. And if I keep feeding it iron ingots and redstone and crafting tables, as long as the mold is there, as long as there's one back in here, it will still keep on keeping the form and putting out the crafters that you want. Okay, now on to something maybe a bit more interesting. I'm not going to be showing you all the quaint and weird contraption I made in here. You can have the world download, as I said, and you can go around and look for yourself. But I'm going to start off by showing you this vertical crafting tower that can craft any recipes in the game, because it has 9 slots down here. And the challenge for any crafter, as it will be more obvious later, is always how do you keep the order of the item, because you need something, a dropper, a hopper, something to feed into the crafter. And if 2 items get in here, they have a tendency to get in here in the first slot, and it will empty from the first slot. So if you need a recipe that has several of the same item, it's important that they come in one at a time. So there's some way of controlling that. And here I've opted for having honey blocks, so it spaces it out. It comes in one at a time and it ends up in the correct spaces. This tower is making dispensers, since it's one of the more annoying things to make in Minecraft. And there's kind of a consensus of, especially dispensers for some reason, are the things that you're going to be using auto crafting for. So how does it work? We have this homebrewed T flip-flop right here. We have a dropper tower. Well, not really, because it's pushing things out, but we're sending up a signal. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And well, basically it fires them all at the same time, and then it falls down like this. But let's just see it. Let's unlock it and push it and see what happens. You can see, and it goes down like this, and you can see it runs into the slots in the order that we wanted to. Like that. So this is pretty neat, I think, and quite fun. And the reason you might not want it is because it is quite difficult to make some lines to actually feed into these droppers. So in a survival world, you will probably have to have a ladder and then go up, and maybe that will get tedious. But I do love the very visual mechanics of it. The next logical way to make an autocrafter that can make any recipe in the game is probably something like this, where you can see I have droppers pushing into hoppers that just pointing back into the droppers, and then I have a hopper line running like this into the autocrafter, and I have exactly the same setup more or less as I showed you somewhere in the beginning, that measures the signal strength when it's full, and then we have this one that makes sure that it only fires when there's 9, and then it fires this row of redstone right here and these row of repeaters, and it pushes in another item like this. And because this item is the first slot, it's made so that this holds this slot right here. Okay, we have something down in here. It should all work. So if I push this button like that, we should see it crafting automatically. You can see it's coming in like this, and it works very, very nicely like this. You can of course lock this like that, and you can see then this will just stay there. Building on this system, I made this, which is basically the same. All I wanted was a visual indicator that showed me when one of the items ran out, and I wanted it to be able to start again without having to do a lot of manual stuff with shifting things around and clearing out this right here. And it seems there are some things in all the ingredients. So we push this button and you can see it starts auto crafting. Oh, it ran out. It ran out. So you can see what it needs is bows. Now, if I put in 9 bows right here, you can see that it will be ready to start again because this is empty. So we just need to restart the system and it will start crafting again. Pretty neat system. But then I logged out of my game because I needed to eat my dinner or whatever. I can't remember. It was days ago. And when I logged back in, it didn't work. These latest 2 machines I showed you, they did not work. See, I logged out, I logged in. Let's just start it. And you can see the orders all messed up. I built this, they worked, I logged out, I logged in again, and they didn't work. And I tried so many things. And my best bet is that it's kind of a bug, but it's kind of a bug that's been there probably for a long time and won't be fixed. I was told by some of the smart people in my Discord community that it's something called hopper hashing, which means that somehow the order of update or something with the hoppers is stored in a file and it's pretty random or something like that. I tore it all apart, built it up again, and I found out that if I change this hopper line, if I tear this out and put it back in, then it works again. But of course, this is not really a viable solution. But before I did that, I did use that same system, which is obviously flawed, to make this system right here, just for fun. I just made a crafting table interface, and then you have a very visual way of doing it. You put the things in here like that. And I think that for some people, that will be a very nice way to have one crafting system that can auto-craft anything like this. But as I said, it's built on this system and this system. So every time you log in, until at least they fix it, if they do, you would have to change out this entire hopper line. So it's not really a good bet for a solution. But it was interesting building this system for a different reason, because in this system we're not only moving the items horizontally in hoppers, we're actually moving them into a dropper and having them being pushed out by a water stream, and then still need them to come in here in the correct order so that we can have our correct recipe crafting. And the way I solved this was very simple. I made a clock, a hopper clock, with 1 item in it, going back and forth. And then I have this side powering the dropper, and I have the other side powering this. So when the dropper is powered, this is not powered, and vice versa, which means that the items will be moving along one hopper at a time into there, where it will be pushed into the water stream. The next will come in, it will be pushed into the water stream, leaving enough time for the items to come in the correct order. Now, that led me to this system, which works beautifully when you log in, when you log out, and it has some advantages as well. As you can see, we do have the visual indication when an item runs out. And furthermore, in this, if we go down here and look, you can see we have 61 dispensers right now. We have a system that when you put in an item, it auto starts again and works. So we should have 62 items, and then we run out again, which means that this system you can set up basically to anything. You could use it with item sorters like this, from items coming from a storage system or farm or whatever, and you could just put it in, and if some items come in faster than the other, it would not matter, because the system would stop until there was enough to do the next crafting at whatever recipe you had decided that should be in there. And if you're wondering what these composters do, they are supposed to reduce hopper lag when you have open hoppers that are not locked, so that they don't keep checking if there's anything coming into them all the time. So just kind of ignore that. But the way I choose to have this system is like this over here. The way my mind works is that if it's going at hopper speed one at a time, which we ensured over there by having this tick in hopper speed, why not just do it like a hopper chain? So we have a hopper chain that drives the hoppers or the droppers. So I put in one item here, and when I push this button, it goes all the way down there, which means that I can have droppers there being fired individually, and this is spot 1, this is spot 2, this is spot 3. So it goes in the order that we want it to go in, and then we have just the hoppers going back in here, putting the item back, so that when we have a crafter here, every time something is crafted, we can activate this and it's ready again to do that. And that was the main idea in this system right here. Finally, I took this system right here and said to myself, what if you wanted this kind of more neat in a room? So I kind of combined this one with this one, and I got this one. This is basically an fully automatic auto crafting system that can craft any recipe whatsoever, which lets you know if you run out of an item, like this, and that automatically restart when you put in that item. So we should see a new item getting dispensed soon, like that, or crafted rather. And it has some other benefits as well, because what if in the middle of crafting something you said, I want 10 stacks of dispensers, but then you regret it. Then with this one, you can stop the process. It's locked. And what if you want to empty out the system so you don't have to go all the way down there and manually take it out? What you can do is you can go over here and toggle this one. So you see, if you want to empty it, you go like that. And then you say empty, which means it will go into this barrel. You do like that, so it doesn't go down to there. And now it's going and it's emptying out the system, and it's just putting in the rest down here. So you have a clean system that you can set up for a new crafting recipe. This one I will probably build, or something like it. I might experiment more in my world just to have it, even though doing this and setting up this, I mean, it's not that often that I do need a stack of dispensers. And as I showed you in the very beginning, it would be very, very fast to auto-craft it semi-manually. As I showed you down there, just put in the stacks in a smart system and then have that working. Probably in most cases, what I would use it for is compacting the output from farms. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will leave all of these systems in a world download so you can tinker with them yourself. Remember that you do have to start the world in the correct snapshot. If there's a snapshot, later snapshot that has been out when you are downloading this, you have to go back and use the correct snapshot, as experimental features cannot be updated to the next version of a snapshot. Or you can use a structure block and then copy this structure that you want, and then you can put it in your new snapshot world. Thank you for watching, and if you watched so far, leave a like or subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye!